This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 29th day of December in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, was forced to put a halt to the beginning of the debate on that Natural Resource Fund bill after the opposition erupted in protest in the National Assembly.
Honourable Member, Mr. Jones, I'm asking you to have your members take their seat.
Despite the pleadings of the Speaker, the protest continued and became louder as the Minister of Finance tried to start the debate.
I rise, sir, to speak in support of the Natural Resources Fund Bill 2021. A bill, sir, that comprises the second installment of a two-part set of legislation aimed at improving significantly the governance of Guyana's new and emerging oil and gas sector.
Eventually, the Speaker was forced to put a halt on the debate.
Honourable Minister, I'm taking a short suspension. I'm taking a short suspension.
The opposition is pushing for the Natural Resource Fund bill to be sent to a special select committee. Meanwhile, with the government being pressed to delay its move to pass the Natural Resource Fund bill, a group of picketers representing the opposition and other interest groups gathered outside the National Assembly today to make known their non-support of the legislation in its current form. PNC Reform Leader Aubrey Norton was among the persons on the picket line. He said the government is showing its true colors by ignoring the concerns of citizens and moving ahead with the rushing of the bill through the National Assembly.
In essence, they are creating a situation where they can take as much money as they want, do as they like, and there is no oversight. Then there was an element of the bill that suggests that you have to have that which is fiscally sustainable to take out. In other words, you can't take out more than the economy could sustain. They have removed that completely, and they are now in a situation where they can virtually take as much money without paying attention to sustaining our economy. So the bill is really an attempt to remove the checks and balances and open the floodgate for the PPP to thief money as they like. And that is the essence of it.
The government has been accused of gutting the existing legislation which provided widespread oversight of the spending of the oil income and multiple safeguards. There is now the concern that with many of the safeguards removed and more government control added, there could be issues of accountability.
They don't want checks and balances. They don't want independent groups monitoring it. They want to be able to do as they like. And that is where the problem lies. And that is why we have to oppose it. Because it will also ensure that our children are in trouble. Because if you have a fiscal sustainable part of it, it means that as you take money, you will have to take it cognizant of the fact that you don't want to adversely affect the economy. And therefore, you will be restricted in the amount you take. And therefore, you will be in a better position. They are seeking to remove all of that, and they are seeking to put it in the form of a slush fund so that they continue to thief and do the things they do. That is the basics about what they are trying to do.
Businessman and activist Brian Max, who was also on the picketing line, said there is too much powers being given to the government to spend the oil resources with not enough independent supervision under the new legislation.
Wasted money. And that's what Jack Deere is good for wasting Guyana's resources. If Jack Deere was spending his own money, he would be living in a Dharamsala today. Because he would be broken. Because the amount of failed projects behind him, his money would have been done. And this is the guy we want to give full access to every penny of our resources, for him to do what he wants to do, with just 5 hand-picked PPP persons to sit on the board? I don't think so. And that's why I'm out here today, to demand that this bill be scrapped.
Despite the growing concern, the government has tabled the bill for its second reading. More news coming up in just a moment.
What is fiber? Think exceptional. GTT Fiber is an advanced high-speed internet product that delivers broadband via fiber optic cables with download speeds of up to 150 megabits per second. It means your internet is faster, and GTT Fiber comes with the added coverage of our Plume HomePass Wi-Fi system. Plume extends your Wi-Fi signal to ensure that you have the best experience in every corner of your home with Wi-Fi everywhere. Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. Ole cheesy, so much ripples and more combo pack up flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
Give me one dembe for my whole family. Their bread is tasty. Them
Baked with love and passion by our dedicated team of fine bakers, we give you dembe. With the same great quality you're used to, we now have a slightly new look. Here in Land of Canaan, we are ready to give you even more. Don't wait until you're hungry. Reach for a slice of dembe. Dembe, healthy, wholesome living.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Well, while commending the government for its effort to improve accountability and the management of Guyana's earnings from oil resources, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce believes more time should be provided to get the public's input and comments on the bill. The controversial bill, which replaces an existing bill, was laid in the National Assembly last week, and the government is moving for it to be passed later tonight, despite concerns raised by the opposition and some civil society groups. In a statement this morning, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry said it has been carefully following the developments associated with the bill and analyzing its details since it was released to the public a week ago. The Chamber of Commerce said it understands the need for the revision of the Natural Resources Fund as outlined by the President, and would like to commend the government for its effort at attempting to improve public accountability and transparency with respect to the management and operation of the fund. The Chamber said it remains committed to being a partner in national development and anticipates continued steps to support inclusive growth for Guyanese. But the Chamber said, given the paramount importance of the bill and its use as a tool for intergenerational wealth transfer of the citizens of Guyana, it believes more time should be provided for the public's input and general commentary on the bill. The Private Sector Commission today threw its full weight behind the passage of the National Resource Fund legislation in its current form, even though its sister organization, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, has called for the passage of the legislation to be delayed. In a statement, the Private Sector Commission said a new bill, which will see monies to be used from the NRF be transferred to the Consolidated Fund, will provide for parliamentary oversight on the spending of the oil resources and will provide greater accountability and transparency. The PSC is of the view that the Natural Resources Fund legislation, when operationalized, will provide the resources that will serve as a major catalyst for Guyana's national development in all sectors. The body said its subcommittee on economic and financial issues has noted that the operationalization of the NRF will provide the much needed resources which the country needs at this crucial time for the development of national infrastructure, healthcare, education, and to mitigate the impending effects of climate change. The Private Sector Commission has not objected to any of the proposals in the legislation, even though it said that it has examined and analyzed the merits and demerits of the bill. Under the new bill, the Private Sector Commission will be nominating a member to the board that will lead oversight of the fund. When the local content bill is signed into law, the Ministry of Natural Resources will move immediately to set up and operationalize a local content secretariat. The secretariat will be based at the Ministry of Natural Resources and will be primarily responsible for the monitoring of companies involved in the oil and gas sector to ensure their adherence to the local content laws. In presenting the bill for a second reading in the National Assembly this morning, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat explained that the secretariat will be serving a key role in the enforcement of the legislation governing local content.
We will create what we call the Local Content Secretariat at the Ministry of Natural Resources. That is the body that will monitor local content, that will do enforcement, and that is the company that will do, that is the agency that will do the assessment also. So the bill speaks to the creation of a Local Content Secretariat, which will be headed by a director. So, Mr. Speaker, upon the passage of this bill in the National Assembly today, with the support of all, and the assent of the President, it means that we will start to create this unit which we call the Local Content Secretariat.
The minister said one of those registers will allow persons seeking employment in the oil and gas sector to have their names included in a database for the companies that will be hiring. It was explained also that under the local content legislation, companies will have to have 51% Guyanese ownership, with 75% of the managerial staff being Guyanese and 90% of the other staff being Guyanese also.
51% of the company must be owned by a Guyanese or Guyanese national. 75% of the managers and senior staff must be Guyanese. 90% of the other staff employed in the organization must be Guyanese. That is the length to which we went, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that our Guyanese brothers and sisters are beneficiaries of the oil and gas sector.
Barrett said that there are strict provisions to ensure companies follow the rules of the legislation. The Minister of Natural Resources also announced that the government had accepted 11 of the 14 amendments to the bill that were proposed by the APNU-AFC opposition. Minister Barrett said although the opposition's amendments to the bill were only submitted on Tuesday, many of them have been accepted and are now included in the bill.
We have spent over a year, Mr. Speaker, consulting with the various groups across the countries, especially the private sector, the operators, civil society. So the local content bill that is presented to the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, is a bill that represents the views of all those who were consulted. It is a working document. It is a living document. No local content bill can remain static in any country in the world. Nothing in the local content bill is cast in stone, because as we continue to assess our capabilities and our capacity, of course we will have to change targets and make changes to the schedule in the local content bill, Mr. Speaker.
In offering the opposition's support of the local content bill, opposition member of parliament David Patterson said he believes there should have been more discussions on some of the contents of the bill, as he fears some sections may clash with the international agreements that Guyana has signed on to.
Nowhere in this bill is any reference made to our obligations under this treaty. Mr. Speaker, before the advent of oil and gas, Guyanese has been favorably welcomed and benefited from opportunities in the CARICOM region. We were afforded opportunities to expand our goods and services in sister CARICOM countries. While a case can be made during these periods, individuals and companies from sister countries also benefited from access to the Guyanese market. We, in the opposition, would like assurances from the government that the country will not face any legal challenges from our CARICOM sisters and brothers after the passage of the bill.
Patterson said there have been concerns expressed already that a new bill may be in contravention of the CARICOM Treaty of Chaguaramas. In response, Attorney General Anil Nandlal said a local content bill is a comprehensive one.
Mr. Speaker, this bill, as we have repeatedly said, is a work in progress. It is not the end all, and that is why we have that schedule, and that schedule has that ministerial discretion, and we will change it.
It was noted during the debate that there will be close monitoring for adherence to the legislation, since Guyana is new to the oil and gas sector and will be continuing its moves to build capacity for the sector. The Private Sector Commission, the Chamber of Commerce and other civil society groups have welcomed the local content legislation to ensure the oil companies and other companies involved in the sector pay attention to local content in their operations. The New Building Society Limited has announced that it will be further reducing its mortgage interest rates from January. When the government increased the mortgage ceiling earlier this year from $12 to $15 million, the NBS announced an across-the-board reduction in its mortgage interest rates to all borrowers. In a release today, the NBS said it has now recognized that the government has been aggressively pursuing policies and taking decisive action to improve the nation's housing stock, and considers itself an active partner in the housing drive and has decided to further reduce its mortgage rates. The mortgage interest rate for loans from $6 to $15 million has been reduced from 6.25% to 5.95% per annum, which is applicable to both current and new loans. For borrowers who qualify for low-income loans below $6 million, the new interest rate will be 4% per annum. The NBS explained that reduction of the interest rates on mortgage loans has been a consistent feature of the Society's policy, which over the years has reduced mortgage interest rates down from 20% per annum in 1990 to the current interest rate of 5.95% per annum. According to the NBS, the reduction in interest rates will aggressively put millions of dollars per annum into the pockets of borrowers, which is in keeping with their mandate to ensure that Guyanese can acquire ready and low-income financing and therefore become homeowners. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get your
color.
Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, dozens of Venezuelan nationals who were attempting to enter Trinidad and Tobago illegally into separate vessels were intercepted by the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard during patrols carried out over the Christmas holiday weekend. They were eventually repatriated on Monday. An official statement issued by the Ministry of National Security reports that the interceptions were made in response to alerts from the country's coastal radar system, part of the technology architecture of the ministry's border security operations. According to the release, the first incident took place at around 12:05 in the morning on Christmas Eve. The second incident occurred at around 12:36 later on the same day. The Ministry of National Security in Trinidad explained that officials from the Trinidad and Tobago Immigration Division were called in, and through coordination with the Embassy of Venezuela, all of the persons who were detained, along with some others who were already in custody, were processed and sent back to Venezuela. In Colombia, security forces there have neutralized 2 clandestine refineries in the country's northeast, which belong to the rebel National Liberation Army. The operation in the province, which sits on the Colombia's border with Venezuela, involved 900 members of the military and police forces, the defense ministry said in a statement. The refineries provided the leftist ELN with more than 30 million pesos in illicit earnings every month. Well, the area has evolved into the new epicenter of Colombia's long internal conflict as security forces battle drug gangs and rebels while coca production increases. Theft from Colombia's oil pipelines is booming as illegal armed groups look to replace dwindling supplies of smuggled Venezuelan gasoline for use in the drug trade. An average of 3,299 barrels of oil were being stolen per day in Colombia since June. And finally tonight, international news. The BBC reports that a combination of Delta and Omicron variants of COVID-19 is driving a dangerous tsunami of COVID-19 cases, according to the World Health Organization. The head of the WHO made a statement as the US and countries across Europe reported record new cases. France reported Europe's highest ever daily figure for the second day in a row at 208,000 new cases. And the US has reported a record average of 265,427 cases a day over the last week. Denmark, Portugal, the UK and Australia have also reported record-breaking figures. Poland reported 794 COVID-related deaths on Wednesday, the highest number in its 4th wave of the pandemic. More than 3/4 of these were unvaccinated people, according to the BBC. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.